Hey guys, this is just a little help with worksheet 2.6. My A group's going to help me out here. I like to keep them under 10 minutes, so we'll probably just go through 2 or 3 examples and then write off your worksheet. So go ahead and find it, and we're going to start off. I hope yours is a little clearer, is it? Is your paper a little clearer than my board here? My numbers are blurry. But I'm going to spit out my gum. Alright, so you're in 2.6 in the notes. Should have learned something called the vertical angle theorem, which you're allowed to call that. And what it says is that vertical angles, and you guys can't see me from home, but I'm holding up a pair of scissors. See these scissors? You see how when I'm closing it, the angles are exactly the same? Like on this side and this side and this side and this side, like they grow and shrink together, right? So vertical angles are these ones across from each other. So we're going to go mark all the vertical angles that we need to work with in this picture. So those are vertical, and on this one, these are vertical. They're like across from each other on a pair of scissors. And I was just opening and closing scissors for them, and they could see that as one of them shrunk, the other one shrunk the same. Vertical angles are congruent. They're the same measure. So on these one it says to find x and y, and you're presented with this, what looks like kind of a big letter X. You set the angles across from each other equal. So with number 1, we're going to take the 3x minus 40. Is that what it looks like it is, Ellie? 3x minus 40? I'm so close and mine's blurry. Yeah, and is the other one 2x minus 10? Yeah. Okay, it's hard to read up close. Like there's all these black dots in there. So we set them equal, Matt, because they're across from each other. And it says to find x and y. In this problem, there's just an x, right? So what we'll do is we'll solve this using some algebra. Ellie, how do I solve this for x? What's the first thing I'll do since it's sitting here on both sides of the equation? Well, yeah, we need to get them on one side, so we'll subtract, I think. You can't hear her. She has a mask on and she's far away from my microphone. But Matt, we're subtracting 2x from both sides because you want to end up getting x equals. It can only be on one side. I like to have it on the left. So 3x minus 2x is just 1x. On the right-hand side, it disappears, right? And then, Matt, how do I get rid of the minus 40? Because if you remember, yeah, I'm going to add 40 to negative 10. And when I do that, I get a 30. So x is 30. All right, so on all of these, you're going to set the ones across from each other equal. Does that make sense, guys? So we're not going to go do any more of those for the video. You can go back and do them later. We'll go to number 6 right here, and we'll see if we can piece together what number 6 is saying. The videos, I really try to keep them at 10 minutes, so I'm not killing you at home. So let's go look at number 6. Angle 2 is 180 minus 3x. So you guys are going to go and you're going to write that right in here at angle 2. We're going to write 180 minus 3x in there at angle 2. The next one they gave me is angle 3, which is directly across from it on the pair of scissors. And it's 2x over here. And you guys, what did I say is true about these angles across from each other on the x? That makes like this. What are they? These angles that are directly across from each other, what are they? They're congruent. So what are you going to do with them? You're going to say, well, this one on the left has to equal this one on the right. And then we'll solve it for x. So I would add the 3x over or subtract the 2x, whatever you like better. And I get 180 equals 2x's plus 3x's or 5x's. And I don't have a calculator, but I'm going to hand one to Matt here. And how do I solve this one? How do I get rid of this 5 that's in front of the x? Divide. So he's going to do 180 divided by 5 for me? We'll write that down. What is 180 divided by 5? 36. Now be careful that you don't enter, because I know you have to enter these on the computer. X is 36. It asks us to find the measure of angle 1. So we have to take that 36 and go dump it in. It says angle 1. Where's angle 1 on my picture? That's right next door. So we're going to go dump it in right here. So Matt's going to go to his calculator for me and go 2 times 36, right? 72 degrees. Now that's angle 3. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to cross this off. This angle right here, and let's do it in a different color so we can see it. This angle right in here is 72 degrees. But Ellie, it's asking me for this one next to it, and together they make a line. How many degrees are in a line? 180. So she knows she's turning. I'm going to go another color here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go blue on you. So this much of it is 72, but it asked for angle 1. So Ellie said 180 is what they have to add up to. So on Matt's calculator, I need him to do 180 minus the 72. So you got to be careful what they ask you for. For all of them, you need to get that X first, but then you got to be careful what they're asking you for. And that should be 108. All right, so 108 degrees for number 6. I'll do one more on the front and one on the back. Which two do you guys want to do? Well, this is a big, did your teacher say you have to do this proof? Like, did they say you could skip any? Some years they can skip this one. They didn't say? You don't know? All right, let's go to the back, because you won't be asked to write a paragraph proof. So we're going to go to the back here, and I'm going to talk to you about the proofwriting. Now, if you haven't done 2.5 yet, you really ought to take care of that one first, those of you at home, because it's got a little bit more details of the proofwriting. But the proof always starts with what's been given. So you can never get this first reason wrong, because you always write given. So always, the first reason in every proof is given. What are you going to write in that first slot every time? Given. Then you have to either use what's been given or the picture. So there's a picture over here we're going to focus on, because it didn't say anything about 3 being the same as 6 in my given. So I'm going to go ask myself, why can they say that angle 3 is the same as angle 6? And Ellie, they're across from each other on that pair of scissors. What theorem did I say that is? I wrote it on the top. They're called vertical angles, and we called it the vertical angle theorem. And your teacher will allow you to write that. Whenever they're across from each other on a pair of scissors, what are you going to write? Vertical angle theorem. Now, if you didn't take the notes, you don't know what the transitive property is. So I'd go take them, but I use this on with the B group. So you guys at home, you were here when we talked about this, but I'm going to repeat it for the A group. I think we had, who was it? I can't remember, but we called him the middleman. And so we said, well, if A is B and B is equal to C, well then forget about B, they're equal. And we talked about your weights. Unfortunately, well, we have 3 of us in here. So it'd be like if I said, I weigh the same as Ellie and Ellie weighs the same as Matt. We don't really need you. I weigh the same as Matt. So the person who gets repeated can get thrown out. Does that make sense? So on this one, if it says 1 is the same as 3 and 3 is the same as 6, who's Ellie in this scenario? Which angle? I weigh the same as Ellie. Ellie with 3. Yes. We don't really need, I call this kind of like the middleman. We're kind of using him to say that angle 1 is the same as angle 6. So anytime they talk about the transitive property, I call it skip the middleman. So watch this one, Matt. If X is Y and Z is Y, I don't need you. X is Z. That's called the transitive property. What's it called? Transitive property. Now go to the picture. Look at angle 1, and look at angle 4. And again, you might say, why are you going to the picture now? Because there's nothing about angle 4 in any of my other stuff. It's got to be coming from the picture. Why can they tell me that angle 1 is the same as angle 4? What do you think you're going to write? They're across from each other on a pair of scissors. And by scissors, yeah, exactly, Elle. They're across from each other on the pair of scissors. You didn't hear her at home, so I'm going to repeat it. Not only does she have a mask on, she's far away from my mic. She said vertical angle theorem. Excellent. Now watch the last one. If 1 is 6 and 1 is 4, who's the middle man? No. Who can I skip over and not even talk about? Because they're both the same as it. No, there's no 3 even mentioned. 1 is 6. 1 is 4. Who's the middle man? For example, if A is B and C is B, well, they're both the same thing. So A is C. 6 is 1. 4 is 1. So what do you think I'm going to write? You said, I think you said it, Elle. 4 is 6. Okay? So whenever you see that repeat, there's like a repeat right here and right here, throw angle 1 out. There's a repeat right here and right here, throw angle 3 out. Okay? That property is called the transitive property. I like to call it skip the middleman. All right, we're going to do one more. What time am I at here? Just a second. I want to see I'm at 12. I'm just going to talk about number 12, and then I'm going to be done with the video. So do you guys remember what complementary angles do from the last chapter? If 2 angles are complementary, what do they do? They add up to something. That's supplementary, you're close. They add up to 90 degrees. So let's write add to 90 degrees. All right, so let's go down here. We've got 2 angles, angle A and angle B. They have to add up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to go like this. A and B have to equal 90 degrees because they're complementary, and that's what it means. So look at what they tell me, Ellie. Angle A is, you see how it says angle A is? Is in math is an equal sign. So A is 3 times B. 3 times B. Does that make sense? If it said A was 4 times B, I put a 4 here. If it said A was a half of B, I put a half here. But A gets to be replaced with 3 times B because it says A is 3 times B. So we're going to say, well, A is 3 times B. And then we have the B. And they have to add up to 90 degrees. All right, are you ready? So what's 3 B's plus 1 more B? 4 B's, right? 4 B's. Man, I'm going to need the calculator here because how am I going to solve this for B? Go ahead and tell me. How am I going to solve it for B? Go do it on your calculator for me. 90 divided by 4, 22.5. All right, so it says find the measure of the angles. We've got one of them. We've got angle B measure is 22.5. How do you think I'm going to get angle A? It tells you what it is. I'll let you guys read it again. How am I going to get what angle A is? I'm going to have Matt do something on his calculator. What am I going to have him do? Multiply it by 3. Perfect, Ellie. Because it says A is 3 times as large. So Matt's going to do 22.5 times 3 for me. 22.5 times 3. What do you get? Now watch this, Matt. On your calculator, if we did this right, which I know we did because we were really slow and careful, but remember, they're complementary, which means these two numbers on Matt's calculator better add up to 90 degrees, right? Go do it on your calculator, Matt. Go do 22.5 plus 67.5, and he said, yeah, it does. If it didn't, we did it wrong. It means we either set it up wrong over here, or Matt did something wrong in his calculator here, or Ellie didn't tell me how to get angle A correctly. But I'm confident we all did it well together because it's adding up to 90 degrees, and that's what complements mean. Does that make sense? All right, so that's the end of the video for you guys. I'm going to stop this just 1 second. I have to get rid